Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cup of Joe show. I'm Joe, that's Jeremy, and that's how we do it. Now, Merry Christmas. I hope you had a great Christmas, everyone. I know I did. I got a lot of stuff. It's like way too much stuff, but it's great. I'm not complaining. How was your Christmas, Jeremy?
It was nice. Had the family over for breakfast, and
Excellent.
all the nieces and nephews. They're loud. They like running around and causing a ruckus.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, it really is for them.
This is true.
But all right, we're gonna jump right into it. Have you seen any movies the last week?
Didn't we see The Hobbit since the last show?
Oh, we did. That's right. We saw The Hobbit. So, yes, we could talk about that. All right, let's start with that. The Hobbit. Give your thoughts, Jeremy. What do you think?
Okay.
Oh, The Desolation of Smaug. Sorry.
Of course, there are three
Yes.
Hobbits
Mm-hmm.
based on one book. Anyway, I liked it. I liked it better than the first one. It was shorter than the first one. It was better paced. It had more action. It felt like things happened, but at the same time, it did still feel kind of stretched. I mean, there's certain things like, spoiler warning, Bilbo is just like escaping from Smaug for way too long and just sliding around on gold for a really long time, and that's nice in a sense because then Benedict Cumberbatch can just act the hell out of it and just be an awesome dragon. But there's still those things there that go on for too long, and then the hobbits are in the barrels escaping down the river for like 45 minutes. That went on a little too long. And I also feel like, I mean, there was more action, and the action was cool, but it was also skirting the line into ridiculousness. Like, there was just, again, more CGI than in the original trilogy, and just some of the action was kind of a little over the top, especially with Legolas. Legolas was just impossibly cool. So, that's basically my thoughts.
I guess, yeah. I agree with the prolonged Bilbo Baggins Smaug scene. It was really long, drawn out, and I just kind of kept waiting for Smaug to just be like, ah, and just like, I don't know, like attack him, and like it just wasn't. Of course, like I guess I kind of get it because he's been a dragon and he's been there and he's been around no one for a really long time. I don't know the feelings of a dragon because they don't exist, but
maybe they get lonely.
Exactly. So like I could see him kind of toying with him just because he hasn't been around anybody and has been sleeping. So I guess, but yes, that was prolonged. There were ridiculous action sequences. One which, if you've seen the film, yes, the dwarves in the barrels, but the one part in particular where the one dwarf goes out of the river and kills like literally 150 orcs, even though there were the company was only supposed to be like 30 orcs. Like they killed like so many more than were actually supposed to be there. But that was ridiculous. He just kept jumping from like one side to the other, and like the barrels would just like run. I can't even like if you've seen it, and hopefully you're getting a chuckle because like it got to the point where like I was kind of like laughing. Like, but not because it was fun. Like, in the beginning it was funny, and then, like, it kind of kept going, and I was just like, is the scene ever gonna end? And, so, yes, overdrawn. I haven't read The Hobbit, but I know that there's definitely things in there that don't belong that just don't belong in the movie.
Like Legolas.
Like Legolas, yes. Legolas, the lead character, the girl elf, who I don't know her name.
Tamriel.
There you go. She's supposed to be.
Wait, no, Tariel.
You're right.
I've been playing too much Skyrim. Tamriel is from Skyrim, so it's Tariel from The Hobbit.
She is supposed to be a guy. There's not supposed to be a love triangle. I don't think. I could be wrong. They're really putting Sauron. They're really connecting the Lord of the Rings thing. And I don't think that's in the Hobbit. it just feels like it doesn't belong there. So I'm just assuming it's not in The Hobbit. I don't know because I never read it.
I do believe that there are a few passing mentions to Sauron and the Necromancer in The Hobbit, but nowhere near as much as is in the movies.
Right. Yeah. That's what I figured. But overall, I did like the movie. I enjoyed it. And the one thing that, like, the only thing I think that where this Hobbit trilogy is better, is an improvement over Lord of the Rings, is that Bilbo isn't annoying, and like Frodo really is. So like when it goes to there's no, for me watching Lord of the Rings, when it goes back to Frodo's story, I'm just like, oh my god. And especially if it's on TV, like I want to fast forward, like I'll change the channel, literally. So like, I know that, I'm not really a Lord of the Rings guy, and I'm sorry, but like those parts really annoy me. So for me, it's refreshing when it goes to Bilbo, and he's not annoying, and Martin Freeman is fantastic in that role. And I haven't read The Hobbit, so Bilbo might get annoying because I think he's kind of annoying in Lord of the Rings when he's older.
Yeah.
But
that's what the ring does.
Right, exactly. So I don't know, but for me that's an improvement over it. But that's probably the only one.
Okay.
You're good?
All right. Yeah.
Good. All right.
Okay.
Now on Christmas Day I saw Saving Mr. Banks. So I'll talk a little bit about that. Now, Jeremy, going in, right when you go to take a drink, I'm going to ask you a question. All right. So, when you saw a trailer for that movie, what did you think it was gonna be?
Joe, honest to God, I have not seen a trailer for that movie.
You've never seen a trailer for Saving Mr. Banks?
Nor have I seen one anywhere.
Failed segment right there. All right.
I'm sorry.
Maybe with proper planning, which we never do for this show. But all right, here's basically what you get. The trailer shows you that it's this kind of like, it's going to be this fun film about this person who doesn't want her book to be ruined by the movie, and it's just kind of this fun movie where, and like I saw it to be a slightly humorous, kids movie that was ultimately going to be lighthearted, is what I'm looking for. A nice Christmas movie to actually go to. It wasn't. That wasn't it. That was half the movie, because it paralleled her story, the person who wrote the book, because apparently the book was her life. And it wasn't. Mary Poppins was not supposed to be this like fun-loving sing-along movie. It was supposed to be horrible. Like it's supposed to talk about this woman's like horrible life, where she has this father who's an alcoholic, and Mary Poppins is not, that's not her name, but person comes to save the father. That was a huge spoiler. So sorry, but I just want to make sure that going into that movie that it's not a lighthearted film. That is one half of it. But the other, it tells us a very sad story of where Mary Poppins came from. And Colin Farrell's in it. There's a lot of good people. Paul Giamatti's in it. It was very well acted. Emma Thompson was great. Tom Hanks was Tom Hanks, what we come to expect. It's funny because like I've heard, today I watched a movie guy. I read his little tiny plot thing, and he said that I couldn't stop. It was supposed to be Walt Disney, but I couldn't stop just seeing Tom Hanks, and I understand that, but that's okay because Tom Hanks is fantastic and everything. So I mean, great casting. And Colin Farrell was fantastic. I never thought that I'd say that about Colin Farrell, but I think he's. If it's possible, which it's definitely possible, you can mature as an actor. I think he's matured, and he was very good in his role. So I mean, I thought it was well acted, and it was very interesting. I liked it, but I didn't expect it to be sad and everything, and that kind of threw me. That's not really the Christmas movie that I want to,
Just seen Walter Mitty.
No. Nope. We're very much against that. But overall, it was a very good movie. I would just warn against, once again, which I've already said 13 times, that it is not totally lighthearted, but all in all, a very good movie. I liked it. Now we move over to the box office. We do. Do you have it up? Do you need me to stall?
No,
You've got
good.
it.
I'm good.
We are ready.
Yay. Okay. So last weekend was the pre-Christmas weekend. So it's usually the time of year when you get some expansions from some award hopefuls, that kind of thing, and also usually a ton of movies do open on Christmas Day. But we'll get to those next show. But we'll cover them since they opened or something. Anyway. Okay, the number 5 spot went to Saving Mr. Banks, which was up about 2,200%. But bear in mind it was in 5 theaters the weekend before. So it made about $9.3 million, which is solid but not spectacular. But should do well over the whole Christmas season and all that. 4th went to American Hustle, which was up 2,500% and made $19.1 million. Now has a little over $20 million in total. That's a pretty solid debut for that one. It has fantastic reviews. The word of mouth doesn't seem to be quite as strong as the reviews, which worries me because it might mean that, as Joe and I were talking about the other day, it might be like, smart people, like pretentious humor, as opposed to humor that will appeal to the common man. So, was I talking to you about that? Maybe that was someone else. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I talked to myself about that. Anyway, in 3rd we had Frozen, which made $19.6 million and was down just 13%. To date, it had grossed $192 million. And unsurprisingly, Frozen has been doing very well over the weekdays of this week because kids are off from school and parents are off from work, so they're going to see this film, they're catching up on it. So it's doing really, really very well. Should do great business over this weekend, and could honestly be looking at a final total around $270 million, which is tremendous.
Absolutely. Now, I told my mother to go see that movie. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, "You saw that movie?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Who did you see it with?" And I said, "Jeremy." And I didn't realize how ridiculous it was until, after I said it. And she laughed at me. And that was that. But anyway, story. That's it.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right, well, I am pretty much your boyfriend. We did not plan this matching purple thing.
No, we didn't. Exactly. We just both went to the University of Scranton.
Yeah, we did. Our color is purple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In 2nd place was Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, with $26.8 million and a total of 40. That's kind of disappointing. I mean, yeah, it opened in December, which doesn't lend itself to big openings, and yeah, it opened on a Wednesday, which diluted the weekend proper a bit, but even still, that's a little bit less than the first Anchorman opened to 9 years ago. So I think there's a bit of disappointment there, especially since the advertising just went crazy and Will Ferrell was dressed as Ron Burgundy showing up everywhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, then again, like everything else, I could say this for every movie, it should play well over the holidays. Right. So, $120 million, still very much in play for Anchorman. Mostly thanks to Anchorman's underwhelming debut, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug was able to hold on to the top spot despite a 57% drop to $31.5 million. It now has $127.6 million in total. Still running behind the pace of the first Hobbit, which is to be expected. Even still, I would say could find its way to $260 million-ish in total, which is not bad.
Which is not bad. And it'll do great overseas. Yeah. So, there's your box office. Now, there's one thing that I want to... I heard ESPN Radio, they were talking about the best movies of 2013, and this one guy said Gravity, and I wish I remembered the guy who was hosting with him, because now that it's the holidays, like Colin Cowherd and Mike and Mike, they're all off, so there's just other guys there, and the other guy actually said, like, "Are you serious? That is the movie?"
Wow.
And he's just like, "So you're inspired by vast nothingness. Nothing happened in that movie." And I was just like, yes. I wrote down the quote. I'm like, I have to mention on the show. So random ESPN guy I wish I didn't know who you were, and I feel bad, but thank you. Thank you. He was just like, that movie was about nothing. She's like, the whole plot was, I gotta get home. I got home. And that was it. And I was just like, yes, somebody gets it. So thank you, random ESPN guy, and I love the quote, and I'm quoting you now. You're inspired by vast nothingness, and that was perfect. I'm gonna use that from now on to describe Gravity. So thank you, random ESPN guy. And that's that. So
Okay.
anyway,
Well, shall we get to the movies that opened on Christmas?
we're gonna have to, yes.
Okay. There are 5 of them because it's Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright, let's start with the least interesting and go to the most interesting. Least interesting, Believe, the Justin Bieber movie. Opened very poorly on Christmas, and I think that's fantastic. Justin Bieber's fading, and
He retired.
He did?
Mm-hmm.
When did that happen?
Like last week.
Oh. Great!
Or recently, yeah. he retired. He's done.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay.
So he definitely is fading.
Bye.
He's gone.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Let's see here. Grudge Match, which is, Rocky versus Jake LaMotta, the guy from Raging Bull, played by Robert De Niro. I think it looks kind of funny. Kevin Hart's funny, but it's probably not that good.
Right. No, I totally agree. I still want to give it a watch. Wait, is it legitimately those two against each other?
No.
Because that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But anyway,
no, it's
yeah,
not.
no. All right.
Okay. 47 Ronin, which stars Keanu Reeves, is what he does, a messianic character who has to save everyone through cool action sequences. And I like movies like this. I know it's going to be terrible, but I would still totally watch it, and I like Keanu Reeves.
A sparkling 10% at Rotten Tomatoes for that movie.
Oh, it's that bad?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So I'm having second thoughts. But no, I think it looks cool. It's going to be dumb, but I think it looks cool.
Okay. Secret Life of Walter Mitty. As I said in my December movie preview, I had read the short story, which is odd because I don't read. But that and the movie kind of appeal to me because I am a bit of a dreamer. And I like wanderlust and traveling and all that kind of stuff. So it does appeal to me in a sense. But at the same time, the movie seems kind of schmaltzy, as the reviews seem to indicate. Schmaltzy.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just seems like one of those movies. I don't like incredibly loud and extremely close or whatever the heck that name of that movie is. Just seems like one of those movies that would ultimately not, when you leave the theater, you won't be happy, and realize that nothing really happened in the movie. It just seems like one of those movies. So I want to stay away from it.
Okay, and finally we have The Wolf of Wall Street, which looks good. You really can't go wrong with Scorsese and DiCaprio. The movie looks a bit dark and cynical, but that's not a bad thing necessarily. And yeah, it doesn't. I think it should be good.
I think it looks good. I think that's the best of the crop. We'll have to see that one. I want to see American Hustle first. I think that would be really good. That would probably be the best. But yeah, as far as the movies that came out on Christmas, yeah, definitely The Wolf of Wall Street. So we're out of time again, believe it or not. We have 20 seconds. So I hope you had a great Christmas. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, do whatever you do on Tumblr, although I haven't put anything on there recently. But anyway, have a good week.